Hey guys, today I'm going to go over the basics of the minor arcana and let you know how it's structured and the basic meanings of the minor arcana. Okay guys, so here I'm showing you the piles and of the major arcana and the different suits or elements that they're in. And so in the minor arcana, there are 56 cards there, and there's 22 major arcana. So minor arcana, 56 cards, and they're divided into 4 different suits, and the suits are characterized by the 4 elements. So the first suit are the aces, or not the aces, the wands, hello, are the wands, and the wands represent fire, passion, creativity, that spark. Then we have the swords. The next suit is the swords, and the swords represent ideas, communication, mental activity, like thoughts, ideas, like communication, like those things, which I'm not super pro at the moment, but that's okay. So it represents that. And then we have the cups, and the cups represent emotion and like connecting with people and desire. And then last but not least, we have the pentacles, which represent all of the physical things in life: money, security, comfort, wealth, food, pleasure, like physical pleasure, all of those things. Now, if you're into astrology, these 4 elements you'll be familiar with. So that really helped me when I started reading tarot and understanding that the 4 elements that are in the minor arcana are mostly, for the most part, the same interpretation as in astrology when you're looking at the zodiac. All right, so here I have all of the cards laid out for you. Now this is the suit of wands, and I just wanted to put out all of the cards so that you can just see how they're structured. So every deck is organized like this, so I'm going to explain how they're structured, and then I will show you what the other suits look like, just so you have an idea. And also letting you know that this the deck I used is the Light Seers Tarot deck. It is the deck that I started with, and I highly recommend other people to start with it, because as you can see, I don't know, the images are beautiful and I found them easier to connect with. I also found that every person I read for really connected with this deck right away too. So if you are familiar just with how a regular playing card deck is divided, the hearts, swords, spades, whatever, or clubs, you're gonna understand this as well. So we have the wands, and they actually correspond. You can use regular playing cards to read tarot. It doesn't have the major arcana, but you could do all the minor arcana cards once you know the meanings, because there's no pictures on there. But the clubs relate to the wands. The wands, basically they're wands because they carry fire. You can set them on fire. And so what you're going to have is a progression of cards that tell a story about what's happening. And it can be a certain character. In this deck, they have different people, but there's still a progression in the story. And so we have the ace, which represents 1, and then 2 of wands, 3 of wands, 4 of wands, 5 of wands, 6 of wands, 7 of wands, 8 of wands, 9 of wands, 10 of wands, and it's speaking to a journey. Then we also have the court cards, just like you have with a regular playing deck. So we have the page, which I know is kind of the lights on it, but we have the page of wands, then we have the knight of wands, the queen of wands, and the king of wands. So with this part, with 1 to 10, it's talking about all of the everyday experiences that you're having when you're inspired by a spark of passion, an idea, a creativity, and what happens after. What is the story after? When you have something related to fire, which is like I said, creativity, passion, spark, a new love interest, a new excitement of a new idea. These are all of the things that happen. And then the court cards relate to the actual people you meet. So a lot of times when you're reading tarot and the person is I'm seeing somebody in your future, they probably pulled one of these court cards because it actually speaks to the people in your life. Okay, so here we have the suit of Pentacles, and as you can see, it's ordered in the same way. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1 to 10. And we have the court cards as well. And the pentacles are speaking to all of the physical things, right, that happen. Like when we're trying to manifest something and create something physical in the world, like gaining money, a house, a home, a job, a new house, like I think maybe I said that already, but like a new purse, new jewelry, right? Business, all of those things relate to the pentacles. And so it goes from like the idea or the initial work, like planting a seed, like a physical seed. And then what happens on the rest of the journey when you're trying to make that seed grow, all of the different stages that we deal with when dealing with this physical reality. And then again, the court cards are the people you meet along the way that speak to that physical journey. And the pentacles, so maybe I mentioned how the wands are similar to the clubs if you have a regular playing card deck. So the pentacles, they relate to the diamonds, because diamonds are a girl's best friend, and it speaks to like a physical item that, really relates to like wanting to manifest something in our physical reality. Okay, the next suit we have, I love this. So it reminds me of one of my daughters. She is so cups energy. So cups energy is all about emotion, emotional connection, and also desire, like the desire to move that moves us. Also like the subconscious, like going into the unknown, like our intuition, things like that. And so this would relate very easily. You can see maybe you can see there's a heart right here for the cups. So if you had a playing card deck, speaking of the playing card decks, the cups would relate to the hearts because it relates to emotions. And you can see in this deck, it's the same. It's ordered from the aces through the tens, aces being 1. And, you have the people here, and the cups relate to all of the emotions that we have going throughout life, all of the different things that we feel, and the way that we emotionally connect to things, and the desires, like the emotions and the desires that we have, like coursing through our body with our emotions. And then we have the court cards, we have the pages, knights, queen, and king of cups. And they all speak to like the people who are super connected to their emotions and their, desires. And we have desire here, intuition. Oh, and imagination. So the cups also speak to like your fantasy and imagination and, going into, that creative world. So it also speaks to creativity. The fire and water are both like creative energies. But one is like more fire, out there, outward passion, like trying to put it in the world or create it. And this is speaking, water is more talking about like our inner world and creating from that inner world within and from our emotions and all of the things we feel and our desires there. All right, and last but not least, we have the swords, and in a playing card deck that would relate to spades, right? So the swords relate to ideas, intelligence, mental activity, communication, and the difficulties that come through that, right? We have the aces through tens again, but it speaks to like we have all of these ideas and thoughts in our heads, and the swords suit really speaks to like the struggle in our head when we have all of the ideas and what happens in our mental activity. Now, when I first saw the suit of swords, it looks pretty dark, and it is pretty dark. And I was like a little defensive because, my husband's a Gemini, like an air sign. And I was like, this is kind of like painting air signs is a little bit dark, right? In the way they think. But he gets it. As soon as he saw like the cards, he was like, I totally get it. He connected to it, related to it. So with the tarot, I don't think it directly translates exactly to the astrological meaning of the swords, but it definitely speaks to like a big part of it. But it is more of like, you know, how our mind can be a prison, how our mind can be our worst enemy, kind of thing. And part of this is because, like, you know, tarot cards are asking you to connect with spirit, and a lot of times what can take us out of our connection is getting too deep in our thoughts and getting too pulled into the material world. And we actually don't get pulled in necessarily by the things like Pentacles. We get pulled into it by how we view things and our thoughts about it, and like the things where we feel conflicted. But it tends to be like the struggle that we have with our thoughts and our minds and our communication. And then, so we have that journey here through the Ace through Tens, and then we have the Court cards. We have the Page, Knight, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Swords, and they're little bad, little colds, and intelligent. So these are the people that you meet that are like super intelligent, super spicy, super like cold, hard, badass, you know, badass person, you know, that you meet along the way. And I think they're super cool. Then again, I am married to an air sign, so there you go. Hey guys, so hope you enjoyed this little overview of the Minor Arcana. I will have more videos coming out to describe it in detail, to put a little story along with it. And then I will have coming out more videos on like the specific meanings for each card, but I want you to feel confident in reading these cards right away. So I'm doing the videos in the order that I think you'll be able to learn the best. So if you want to catch those new videos, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. I release new videos out every week, every Friday at noon, and I'll be putting more frequent videos out if I'm able to do so. All right, take care. I love you. Bye. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release a new video every single week.